Imagine you are driving home and then all of a sudden you see red and blue lights behind you. You get lit up. You pull over, but it's not local police at your window. It's ICE. Your heart rate spikes. Your brain goes blank. And that's exactly when people make the 5 mistakes that turn a we'll see situation into a nightmare. In this video, I'm giving you the 5 traps ICE is counting on and the exact words to say so you don't accidentally talk your way into handcuffs. And yes, the last trap is the one people mess up all the time, even when they think they're doing everything right. Hi, I'm Marc Lopez, criminal defense attorney, and we're going to jump right in. So let's go. Trap number 1, the roadside debate. Here's the first trap. Arguing on the side of the road. People want to argue. You're racial profiling. You can't stop me. You don't have the authority to do this. This is illegal. Listen, whatever is true or not true, the roadside is not court. You are not going to cross-examine anybody on the asphalt. And here is the psychological reality. Once conflict starts, the stop escalates. The officer's brain flips into control plus safety mode. And now everything you do looks suspicious. Your tone becomes the story. So what do you do instead? You control your body. You have a calm voice. Keep your hands visible. Keep your words minimal. You're not agreeing. You are surviving the encounter and saving the fight for later. Say this, officer, I'm going to comply with lawful instructions, but I'm not going to be answering questions. That's it. Now, if you're driving, in most places, you're expected to provide your driver's license and ID as part of the stop. Don't turn a simple moment into an extra charge. If you're the passenger, the rules can be different depending on your state, but generally you have no duty to provide your identification. You don't have to answer any questions. Now, everyone in the car has to stay in the vehicle because the law is clear. Once there's a traffic stop, everyone in the vehicle is seized. So passengers can't just hop out and walk away casually. That's not going to fly. But do not argue, don't lecture, don't try to win the internet at the curb. Trap number 2, small talk and the bad attitude bait. Trap number 2 is a friendly voice with a fishing pole. Where are you coming from? Where are you going? Who's the car belong to? Anything in the vehicle I should know about? Where were you born? What's your legal status? People answer because it feels normal, because silence sometimes feels rude, because we're trained by society to explain ourselves when someone in authority asks a question. But officers ask small talk questions for 3 reasons. Number 1, to get inconsistent statements. Nervous people misspeak. It's part of our brain. We're nervous. We're not thinking clearly. We're having problems with linear thought, and we'll make statements sometimes don't make sense, and officers will seize on those inconsistencies. Number 2, this is a big one for ICE agents, to get admissions. I was not born here, but whatever. They're trying to get admissions, and that can even go to anything. I only had 1 beer. I was just at the bar, but I'm leaving. Don't make admissions. Don't do that. Number 3, to stretch time while the officers decide what to do next, whether to get more police involved, whether to get a drug dog at the scene, but they'll ask these questions to expand on the stop. We don't want to expand on the stop. We want the stop to be over with as soon as possible. So here is your weapon. You are going to be the broken record. Say this calmly and politely. Officer, I'm exercising my right to remain silent. I'm not answering questions. Or you could just say, I plead the 5th. Short and sweet. I love I plead the 5th. And what happens when the officer asks again? The same sentence. Again, I'm exercising the right to remain silent. I will not be answering any questions. Or I plead the 5th. Now, I'm not going to lie. Most officers get irritated. Now, the good ones don't because they recognize what's going on. But the bad ones, the ones you got to watch out for, they'll get irritated. And they'll start to bait you emotionally. So you're refusing to cooperate? You're going to make this harder than it has to be? And I've seen officers put their hand towards their firearm when they say these things, try to intimidate a little extra. Or they'll say the classic, only guilty people won't answer questions. That's not legal arguments. Those are psychological pressure tests. And your job is to not take the bait. Say this, I plead the 5th. That's it. I plead the 5th. It's such a powerful statement. It's short and it's sweet. And don't get caught up with internet nonsense. Technically, you have to say, I invoke the 5th Amendment of the United States Constitution. Stop. I plead the 5th. That's it. Good. It's solid. And for immigration encounters specifically, you do not need to discuss your citizenship or immigration status with immigration officers. You just don't. And remember, anything you say to law enforcement, including ICE, can and will be used against you later. Again, there are some exceptions. If you're driving, you do have to provide a driver's license. But if you're a passenger, you likely do not. So don't be volunteering things. Trap number 3, the tricky consent trap. Trap number 3 is when they try to get permission to search without you realizing you gave it. They'll say things like, you wouldn't mind if I take a quick look, right? So you're okay with me checking the car, right? Or if you got nothing to hide, you wouldn't mind a quick search. Here's the issue. People answer sloppy. You wouldn't mind, right? No. Officer, great. Step out of the car. Or, you wouldn't mind, right? Yes. Officer, cool, thanks. And they start searching. So we're not going to give them a chance to misinterpret a sloppy answer. We're not going to answer yes or no to those questions. You are going to respond in a sentence that cannot be twisted. I do not consent to searches. Done. How beautiful that is. There's no way anyone can misinterpret that. So you're not going to say, I'd rather you didn't. You're not going to say, do you have a warrant? You're not going to say, why? Just, I do not consent to searches. Now, there is an important follow-up to this question. If they're asking for permission to search, it's reasonable to assume the reason why they're doing the traffic stop is over. May not be true, but it's reasonable to think that. So you want to follow up with, I do not consent to searches, with, am I free to leave? That lets the officer know that you want to leave and you're trying to build a defense if they try to prolong the stop any longer than necessary to get the original purpose of the stop. You don't want them to bring a drug dog tearing up your vehicle, even if you have nothing to hide. Do you really want a dog tearing up your vehicle and they find nothing's in there? Hey, okay, get on out of here. Sorry, the dog chewed up everything and all your possessions are on the side of the road. You don't want them to prolong the traffic stop. So again, I don't consent to searches and am I free to go? And if they keep asking questions, you keep repeating those same statements like a broken record. Trap number 4, officer safety and the movement mistakes. Trap number 4 is movement because movement creates fear and fear creates justification. Here's what you do like it's a checklist. Keep your hands visible, slow motions in the vehicle, and narrate your actions. You're going to say things like, my registration is in the glove box. I'm going to reach for it now. And do that. Now, if there's anything complicated about where your documents are, such as perhaps your registration is in the glove box with a firearm, well, if an officer sees a firearm and you're reaching towards an area, things could go bad really fast for you. So if that is the case, you'd want to talk to the officer. Officer, my documents you requested are in the glove box. I have a licensed firearm in the glove box. How do you want me to proceed, officer? I will give you one tip though. I would never touch a firearm in the presence of a police officer. I never would. Even if the officer tells you to do that, I wouldn't do it. Officer, you can get it. I ain't gonna touch it. Because if you touch a firearm in the presence of an officer, almost anything the officer does in response to that is gonna be legal and justified. That's a sad truth we're dealing with. Don't touch firearms in front of police officers. Don't do it. Ask them to get it. Well, Mark, I don't want the officer in my car touching my... It's better that you are still alive and then touching your things as opposed to unalive and them not touching your things. So please keep that in mind. Now, I got to tell you something. A lot of people do not like hearing this next part, but I got to say it. Number 1, if you are ordered out of your vehicle by a police officer, you have to get out. But Mark, they have to say there's a reasonable justification for their saying. Stop. They have to give that justification afterwards. They don't really have to tell you at the time. If you do not get out of a car when an officer tells you to get out of the car, they're within their rights to drag you out of the car and then look the judge and jury in the eye later on and say, officer safety. And the judge is going to say, Mark, officer safety. What else could he have done? Please, if you are ordered to get out of the car, you have to get out of the car. And that applies to passengers as well. Sometimes passengers don't like hearing that. That is the law. Number 2, again, if you're a passenger in a car that's been pulled over, you cannot just get up and walk away. You are seized and you have to stay there. I get cases every year. Passengers try to walk away. I didn't do anything wrong and got no reason to stop me. You are seized under the law. You can't just walk away. You don't have to answer questions and you most likely do not have to provide ID. Keep that in mind. Bottom line is you do not want to be the person that turns a tense stop into a chaotic one by doing surprise movements. And don't start rummaging through your documents when you get pulled over. Don't film in a way that looks aggressive. I encourage everyone to film police encounters, but do it in a way that doesn't make the officer feel threatened as he approaches the car, because again, that will not end well for you. Control your body, control your tone, and you can control the outcome. Trap number 5, silence is not enough unless you invoke it. This is the trap that wrecks people. They think, I'll just shut up. But in certain situations, courts have said you need to clearly invoke your rights. You cannot always just rely on sitting there in silence. There is a Supreme Court case discussing unambiguous invocation of the right to remain silent and how silence can be handled differently depending on whether you're in custody or whether you clearly invoke the fifth. So don't try to be cute. Don't try to draw nuances. Don't be vague. Say it out loud. I plead the fifth. I want a lawyer. Am I free to leave? These are rights that you have, that you say them out loud. You put the officer on notice. You know that he should know your constitutional rights. And it makes things so much better. And especially when you hear those phrases on the body cams or even your own camera you're recording. So if you only remember 2 sentences, remember these 2. I plead the fifth. I don't consent to searches. Man, that's amazing. Those 2 sentences are so powerful. Now, if you have found this video interesting, we have another video on what to do when ICE is at your door. I encourage you to watch that video. It's very helpful. I think it's awesome. A little biased though, you know, I made it myself. Now, in closing, here are the 5 traps ICE is counting on. The roadside debate trap. Don't argue, don't fall for it. Number 2, the small talk trap. You want to be a broken record. I plead the fifth. Number 3, the consent trap. You are going to say, I do not consent to searches. Number 4, the movement trap. Keep your hands visible. Narrate. Comply with exit orders. Number 5, the silence trap. Don't just be quiet. Audibly say, I plead the fifth. If you've watched this long, you must like me a little bit. I encourage you to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I sure would appreciate it. Leave a comment. Your comment can even be a little mean. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I really can. But I like nice comments too. I read them almost every morning, maybe a couple times throughout the day. I can't respond to every comment. I'm busy. But I'll do my absolute best to respond to a lot of them, right? If you or a loved one are facing charges in the great state of Indiana, give me and my team a call. We would love to discuss your options. And most importantly, I encourage everyone to always plead the fifth.